Welcome, Zentangle friends. You're on Zen with Emmy on YouTube, and we are doing day 13 of the Inktober challenge. I'm so glad you're here, and this will be a really fun time. I hope you have your supplies handy. We'll need them all. In addition, you'll probably want a white chalk pencil if you have access to one. We have the book we've been making, and today I want to work right away in our book. I'm going to work on day 13 right here, and then I'm going to put in this book or on paper, in my creativity book, I'm going to put my practice, and that sounds a little strange to do it that way. But on my practice page, I'm going to put this fun thing. We're going to make that fun witchy thing. So our pattern is Pouyang. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're going to put it in here. Or if you like, you're welcome just to get some paper. And this is about 4 by 4. So whatever is handy to you, about 10 centimeters squared or 4 inches by 4 inches. And we will get started with that as soon as we have practiced our pattern right on here. This is on the job training. Grab your pencil, because I do think that Pouyang is a good one to start right away in pencil. And I don't know if you remember this, but day 12 was this fun Thomas Padros. So this will be day 13 in this spot here. So we will finish filling this out now. You just have to kind of take them in the order they are, right? Pouyang starts with an S, and I'm going to start it like this. And then I'm going to go right over to my 01 pen, or whatever pen you have handy. Just always use the best supplies you have. And I'm going to try to make my version of a Hershey's Kiss. Yum. Okay, so I have the thin at the top, and then I'm going to aura this line here, my S, on down like that. I do want to end up having these get thicker. So I'm going to do some darkening and some thickening. And understanding that these are not always going to be tight, because I do want this to end up rounded like a Hershey's Kiss. The cool name Pouyang is a person named Peter Yang, and he is a friend of the Zentangle people, and they wanted to pay respect to him. He works for Sakura, and he is, just like many people, goes way above and beyond what you would expect. And so they just wanted to have a nice thank you to him. And so they designed this pattern. Now, I don't know how much you know about Maria Thomas. She is one of the founders of Zentangle and artist extraordinaire, but she's a very whimsical person. And this pattern certainly reflects her desire for whimsy and fun. So that is a pretty good version of a Hershey's Kiss. Knowing yours will be different, and you know what else? Mine will be different next time too. I'm going to grab my pencil because I really want to mark this about 2/3 of the way, well, about 1/3 of the way from the top. I'm going to come out with a dark, and I'm doing this dark for you to see. You don't have to do yours so dark. A dark pencil line, and that's kind of like what the Hershey's Kiss is sitting in. It's kind of like a sombrero. And this is going to be our fun movement. I'm darkening this down here because this is where the sombrero connects. Darken however you like. I'm going to take a lot more time with this along the way. Just wanted to get something going right at this moment. Make a C right here, and then tighter at the top and wider at the bottom. And I'm going to make a pattern out of this one. So I'm going to do 3 of my sticks, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to darken between 2 and 3. These curvy lines are what is going to give this pattern this wonderful, wonderful illusion of movement. And so I will do the curvy lines all in this direction first, and then I'm going to come back and do the other direction. So always keep in mind you want to use the best materials you have. And wherever you are and wherever you're working, know that you should just relax and enjoy the process, and do not feel worried if your lines don't look like mine or someone else's, because we don't look alike, so our lines won't either, right? And our histories aren't the same, so that's going to affect our work. And every time you make this, it's probably going to look a little different because you'll be at a new place again. Do you like it so far? I hope so. Okay, let's do the other direction. The C's are a little bit narrower at the top and a little bit wider at the bottom, and close off. So I've seen some really delightful patterns, and sometimes people put sparkle in them, which means to leave a little sliver of light within the dark, and that's a very fun thing to do too. Keep your work in front of you. You will notice mine is not, and it affects my lines and my quality for sure. And then kind of pretend that this Hershey's Kiss goes right through here. But this one is a bit more like a mushroom. It's a bit wide, as it would be. And it does come through, except you lift your pen, of course, and make a big S. This time I'm going to go wider at the top and tighten off thin at the bottom. Wider at the top and thinner at the bottom. This time I'm choosing to do all of my lines, and then I'm going to come back and darken them at the end. I'd like to get my shape going here. I would like that to have a little more of a balloon, like a mushroom. So that's how it looks this time. Next time it'll look different again. Believe me, every time I make this pattern, and since I went to Zen again a couple years ago before COVID, I have made this pattern different every time then too. And then I want this to go like this, and I want this to go way wide out here and have the illusion of coming and tucking underneath, which I can achieve with darkness. So I'm going to grab a thicker pen. In this case, I'm grabbing my 08, and I'm going to darken every other line or whatever kind of seems appropriate. You know what I mean? I'm excited to get to the girly with you, which is very much based on this fun pattern. Very fun. So you're welcome to fuss with this a whole lot more. But as I mentioned, I'm excited to get with the girly pattern with you in just a second here. That's Irish, and I'm showing my Irish roots by calling my little witch a girly. So I really think it's kind of important to have this be a little darker along here. So I'm going to put these little hash marks. It's just kind of the way I see it. And then here too, I'm going to darken her bonnet just a little bit at the top of this. Then, now that I've got that, I want to have this a little darker here too at the brim. And now that I've got those, I want to grab my pencil and it's nice and sharp. I want to put a very dark line between the Hershey's Kiss. Of course, it doesn't do any good to put graphite on the dark, so keep that in mind. It only does good to do it on the white. The rest, it'll just make it kind of shiny. It really doesn't have the effect that you and I would like. I want to put a little shading at the top of this Hershey's Kiss. And I want to put a little shading on the area that looks to me like a sombrero on the inside edge. This wonderful pattern, Pouyang, is a product of Maria Thomas's mind. And she has such wonderful thoughts, and she's so whimsical. Now I'm going to do the same here. I want to bring my pencil down like this, beyond where I had the black mark. And I want to have a little below here coming up. And again, it won't show on the black at all. But my desire is to leave white areas too. So grab your blender stump, push along, push the bottom, and push it out into the white. If your blender stump's like mine, there's plenty of graphite on it. And this is going to help give it an illusion of being a little more like a peppermint, a little more of a curve, which is what we're looking for. Push. Do it down here too. I think I probably will fuss with this a little bit more later because this is my book I'm putting it in. But what a fun pattern. Don't really need a string for this pattern. Now grab your white pencil if you have one, your chalk pencil or your Prisma, whatever you're using, and look what I'm doing here. I'm putting a white line around the white area, and then I'm going to come back with my chalk pencil and I'm going to smudge and smear just a tiny bit all the way around. I also want to do that in this bonnet area or this cute kiss. Now, I want to do it here too. And I want to make kind of a smile so it has the illusion of going around the back. And again, I will smudge. And this is going to show up really good on that black. Now grab your blender stump. And if your blender stump is like mine and you just have way too much graphite on it, just go over the other side of it. Push it on any kind of paper that you have on hand. Get some of that off of there so that you can do this cute thing here. Smudge the white around and make it even more white. Oh, how cute is this? And like I said, I probably am going to fuss with that just a little bit more here and there. But I like it. I like it a lot. Now, grab your book or your paper, whatever you prefer. What I'm going to do is put this in my creativity book. And this is Pouyang. So I do want to do a little planning with this. I am only going to use a half a page for mine because I have our pattern tomorrow that I want to do in the bottom here. And I want this to begin with. I want her hat to definitely have a big curve in it. So I am going to grab my pencil and I am going to do a little bit of work here because I want this to be my string so that her hat has the illusion of sailing behind her. So remember how we started about 2/3 of the way up or 1/3 of the way down? I'm going to make the sombrero. This is definitely the witch's hat, and I'm going to take it out that way a little further even. I want her body to come off. Maybe her head would be here. I'm not going to show her head. I mean, you can if you want. I just want this to be the illusion of our cute little girly. And that's what I'm looking for. Now, since I have this here, I'm going to make a line along that is her broom going underneath her. And I want to do not too much more with that. Come along like that. Okay, so grabbing my pen, my 01 again, and I'm going to do the S, and then I'm going to make maybe a little tail at the top. And I'm going to do a whole bunch of lines first, and then I'm going to come back with my dark pen and darken them. Trying to do this like it's candy stripes this time, a little bit different than we did before. So see how I come off the back a little bit? With the kiss. It still has the rounded effect to it, but it is a little different. So then I'm going to use that thicker pen that I had. I hope that works well in this book for you. And then I'm going to darken and thicken whatever lines I choose this time. I'm not going to necessarily have a zigzag or any special pattern. Remember, our work is going to look different, as do we. And I really do want to have the brim show up. In order to get the brim to show up, I'm going to have to darken kind of below this, below these lines that I did. Probably will go back with a finer pen and darken this a little more here and there. But the shading is going to add a lot to this, I think. There. So with her brim, I do want it to be that lovely C shape that we did before. Except this time, as you can tell, I'm going to do scallops. So when I do her brim, oops, I don't want to start with that big thick pencil, or pen, excuse me. I'm going to use my thinner one. So each one is going to be a scallop that shows up. And again, I'm going to darken these all at the end, every other one. Or every third one, actually. And that's our illusion of movement by having them go underneath like this. We'll see how this turns out. Every time it's different. That's because I'm a teacher, not an artist, although artists will say that too. You'll have the same thing happen. So I have a hat that's straight and this that's not quite straight. I can fix this just a bit. Have these go a little bit higher. Okay, so grab your heftier pencil. Or pen, excuse me. And do some thickening. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so her body, I think she's so cute. I'm going to take my 01 again, or my thinner pen, and I'm going to start right here in the middle. And probably we'll end up with some curves. But I'm going to do all of the pen marks first. I'm going to go wider and then thinner. Now, I very much like this to end up to have a bit of a curve in it. There, like that. And I'd like this to be wider at the top and then thinner, like she's flying away. And as you know, we can always adjust with just a little bit of pen. How cute! Isn't she as cute as she can be? Have you already named her? What a cute girly. Okay, grab your thicker pen Keep your work in front of you, of course. And darken some of these lines, thicken them in a little bit. Thicker at the top than the bottom. So you can see how this is quite a play on Pouyang by Zentangle headquarters. It would definitely be called a Zia, which is Zentangle inspired art. Or a tangulation, which is also true of Pouyang, the pattern. Isn't she as cute as she can be? I really don't want to show her face. If you want to, of course you can. I really don't want her to have hands or legs. I want her just to be an illusionary character. And then I want to do her broom. This is how I'm going to do it. I am going to start off with 01 pen. And what we're going to do is the pattern called Xander. So along the broom, I'm going to put these binders. Remember how we did that on the pattern Xander? So it's just a C that overlaps and then a second C to the first. Do it again. Do as many as you like. I would suggest at least 4. Probably don't need more than that. There, and they all hook off. So to get this to come out right, I want to do a whole lot of sticks where I lift my pen each time. And this is just straw that's bound, the illusion of straw. So lift your pen each time that you go underneath a band. The beauty of doing this and seeing what I saw is that you will think of something that I didn't think of and show me a whole new take on it. And I can't wait to see what you did. I know you've got some great ideas out there. I have every faith in you. And then some. So I think that you do want to have some tendrils escape here and there. It's up to you. But I am, as you noticed, with this pen working wispy. You could even use a lighter pen if you wanted, instead of doing the dark pen. I don't think they should be perfect. I think they ought to be on, there ought to be some angles going on here, because straw wouldn't be bound perfect, would it? Okay, so pencil time. Starting off with there's nothing here, but we can put a little bit of shading at the top of the Hershey Kiss. We can put some shading on the bottom of the Hershey's Kiss, keeping in mind it won't show up on the black. It will just make it shiny and weird. And then where the brim connects with this cute Hershey's Kiss, I'm going to put some shading around. And then where it connects with her body, the girly body, and then down here at the bottom. And the last thing I want to do is quite a heavy dose of shading on Xander where the bands are, on either side of the bands. Now, if you wanted, you could darken the bands, or you could even put them gold or some other color if you would like. I'd love to see some color in this. I think that it would be easy to get some color in this. Grab your blender stump, push some of that graphite around. Oh, I forgot the inside of the hat here. I do want some in here. Definitely. Push it around so that it has the illusion of being dark there at the edges. Awesome. Down here. I am sure that yours is going to look a lot different than mine. And I can't wait to see what you do. I hope you have fun with this. I hope it makes you laugh. I hope you make a girly and put it on a card and say, Happy Harvest to somebody you care about. If you want to get the chalk on here, you can, but certainly not something you have to do. This material that I'm doing this on is not holding up quite as well as some of the paper I would like to use would. So I still think this is worthy of a signature though. So I'm going to put my chop on here. I hope you like Pouyang. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.